night. Skin boots on a Saturday night.
Hello guys, this is the Gaming Revolution here and welcome back to an all-new Black Ops 3 Zombies video. Today we're going to be attempting to explain the eye colour of the zombies in a more realistic manner, giving all of the information that has been brought forth to us over the course of Black Ops 3 Zombies. Now obviously there are a lot of gaps to our knowledge when it comes to the eye colour, but I am going to be trying to explain this in the most easy to understand way, because I think that a lot of the videos on this are sort of really off the ball, and there will be things within this video that will be really off the ball too, but this is, I think, going to be a more accurate look at the eye colour. This will also go over the facts of the Shadow Man being on the moon and stuff like that. That is referenced within the title. Now once again, this is another pre-recorded video. At the time you're watching this video, I'm currently on holiday, so unfortunately I'm not able to stay up to date with any new news or information, so if any new trailers or anything like that have dropped whilst I've been gone and I've not been covering them, that is indeed why, but I'll be covering absolutely everything once I am back. So without further ado, before we get into the video, if you do go on to enjoy this video by the end of it, make sure to drop a like down below. Let's try and go for 1,115 likes on today's video, as well as subscribe to the channel so you never miss a future upload here on the channel. Don't forget to turn notifications on to ensure furthermore that you never miss an upload. But with that all out of the way, let's get straight on into the video. So pre-Black Ops 3 Zombies, we thought that the yellow eyes simply symboled Samantha being in control, the blue eyes simply symboled Richtofen being in control, and then the red eyes was the great evil on Mob of the Dead. However, Black Ops 3 Zombies completely threw this idea out of the park. Now before I get into trying to explain the eye colour, I first of all need to say that I think that the eye colour is irrelevant in most cases. It's only relevant in a very minute amount of cases, but in the grand scheme of things, the eye colour is irrelevant. Now the reason why I say this is because although at times various different people or entities are in control of the zombies, it doesn't matter because it is all the same thing controlling the zombies. There is a greater evil within. That is because whenever someone is in control of the zombies or they touch the MPD, it doesn't matter who it is, they are inherently evil. This means that whoever is in control of the zombies, it won't really be them in control. It will be the evil force that is within. That is why no matter who is in control, the zombies are always attacking the characters. You always get max ammos, nukes, power-ups, etc. You always have the announcer, but the zombies are always out to get you. No matter who is in control, they are always corrupted by that greater evil. Now the evil within the MPD is the Shadow Man, but it's not just the Shadow Man. There are other evils within there, one of whom is possibly Baphomet. Now obviously on January the 4th, 1940, Richtofen and Schuster conduct their first human teleportation test. Richtofen is so confident in its success, he volunteers himself. Teleported to the moon, he encounters the MPD, the ether pyramid hidden by the Apothecans. While inspecting the device, Richtofen is electrocuted and begins hearing the many voices of corruption, including that of the Shadow Man. The device then teleports him to Shangri-La. Corrupted by the dark ether, Richtofen is gradually being driven insane by an obsession to find Agatha. When Richtofen touches the MPD, as you've just heard, he begins hearing the Shadow Man, who constantly talks to him from here on out. Now, initially at the time, we thought that Richtofen had simply become schizophrenic when he touched the MPD, but it was just him hearing the voices of the Shadow Man and the many other voices of corruption. Now, the reason why when he touches the MPD, he starts becoming obsessed to find Agatha is because whenever someone enters the MPD and becomes in control of the zombies, they are granted access to the ether. Now, what the ether is essentially the realm between realms. As we hear from this quote from Dr. Monty,
"This is it. The ether, the infinite, the reality beyond the world you know, beyond your perception. Things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. You changed the rules.
The ether is essentially the forest. Now the forest is essentially frozen. It is based off of Yggdrasil. Now I'm going to be making a whole video about what the ether is. Now Yggdrasil is an immense ash tree that is center to the cosmos and considered very holy. The gods go to Yggdrasil daily to assemble at their things. The branches of Yggdrasil extend far into the heavens, and the tree is supported by tree roots that extend far away into other locations. Essentially, the branches allow you to have a direct gateway to all of the different realms, or multiverses, or whatever you want to call it. Creatures live within Yggdrasil. Now, the whole of zombies is based off of this. It's all based off of the world ice theory. Now, what this is that it's a discredited cosmological concept proposed by Hans Horbiger. Now, Horbiger did not arrive at his ideas through research, but said that he had received it in a vision in 1894 according to his ideas. Ice was the basis substance for all cosmic processes, and ice moons, ice planets, and the global ether, also made of ice, had determined the entire development of the universe. Essentially, it's a belief that everything comes from world ice. Now, we see this within zombies. We see that the box is frozen. That is why we have the blue illuminating from it, because these guns are coming through different time frames. And as he was saying earlier, the ether is the realm between realms. So if it wants to come from another time frame, it has to go through the ether, hence why it is frozen. Element 115 is directly based off of world ice. Now, as he was saying, world ice is the belief that everything starts from this ice. Now, within Revelations, we obviously have the giant Apothecan sun. This is represented as it being blue. This is essentially a sun made of ice. This is what starts and destroys the universe. This is the Big Bang. Now, on the giant, we also see that when the clock stops and the fractures occur, we say that it starts snowing. Again, this is the idea of world ice. Now, as we've seen recently, Jason Blundell has decided to retcon element 115 so that it is always blue. For example, in Shin Onuma, the big rock is now blue instead of it originally being orange. This is simply him trying to retcon it because he wants 115 to be represented as this world ice. Now, the reason why the forest is the ether is, as he said, this is the realm between realms. So when we enter Agartha, we have to go through the ether first. The ether is not a physical place. It's almost like a place where our minds and collective thoughts can be held. Now, we also see this idea of the Yggdrasil ice in various other encounters throughout zombies. But this is essentially the gateway to everything, because if you have access to the ether, you have access to everything essentially, because it's the gateway between everything. I apologize if I'm not making much sense here. Now, unfortunately, anyone that enters the MPD becomes corrupted by this dark ether, as he was saying, and starts hearing the Shadow Man and many of the other voices of corruption. So on October the 13th, 1945, when Samantha was teleported to the moon while Groff and Schuster work out the MPD, running into the MPD, she is drawn inside of it, where she becomes corrupted by the dark ether. This corruption is what is in control of the zombies. This is why the eye color doesn't really matter, because no matter what, it will always be the corruption in control and not the host. Think of the person in the MPD as the host, or whoever else is in control by other means. Whoever is in control is just whoever's in control of the ether, essentially. That is why when Richtofen touched the MPD, he was not in control of the zombies because he didn't actually enter it, so he didn't gain access to the ether, but it made him obsessed with trying to find the gateway to Agartha, because you get there through the ether. But the ether is the key to everything, essentially. Now, Agartha, aka the house, which is a whole separate video to make about, this is able to cure the corruption. So obviously, Monty brought Samantha to the house to reunite her with the Dimension 63 incarnation of her father. He knew that Samantha was corrupted by the dark ether, so Monty took her away from Maxis and the house, but he managed to restore her innocence, and he returned Samantha to Maxis with her innocence restored. Now, I believe this is what we see within the music trailer that we got for Zombies Chronicles. We see snow everywhere, and I believe this is symbolizing the corruption and Yggdrasil. But then another version of Samantha comes back in right at the end and then shuts the window. I think this is symbolizing when she became corrupted. The window opening is symbolizing that corruption. But again, the ether is the key to everything. That is again why when we see her reflecting on all of the memories, we see all snow and everything about. This is looking through the ether. The ether was the start of everything. The ether is just like a blank space. This was here with the keepers, and they obviously went on to create the MPD itself. This was before any of the universes and stuff like that started to crop up. Now in terms of the eye color, obviously when Samantha was in control, the eye color was yellow, but it was yellow even before she was in control. I feel like the yellow eyes is just the blank eye color. I feel like it stays yellow when no one is in control. As to why it still stays yellow when Samantha is in control, there is probably some significance to that. I mean, she is one of the most important characters in the storyline, but it's peculiar how the color stays the same when she is in control, but it's not only yellow when she is in control. Now in terms of the blue eye color, we first see this crop up in October the 13th, 2025 on the moon when using the Vril device and the focusing stone, Richtofen completes his grand scheme and swaps bodies with Samantha on the moon, giving him full control of the zombies and the ether. Maxis contacts the remaining members of Ultimus through the station's electronics and asks for their help to defeat Richtofen. They agree. They launch missiles at Earth, leaving it fractured and broken. They sever Richtofen's connection with the ether, but he maintains control over the zombies. Once Maxis controls the ether in 2035, he returns to the moon and plucks Samantha from Richtofen's body to join him in Agartha. And that's obviously how she enters the house. But that's why the eyes are blue when Richtofen gained control. At first I thought that whenever the characters would enter the MPD, they would automatically be within the house, and that's how come Richtofen as well as Samantha were already there. As we hear, Eddie was in the house for ages, but that's not the case. We learn exactly how they get there from the timeline. Now we do see blue eyes crop up in other instances. We see it on Gorod Krovi with the electric zombies, and we also see it on Origins with some of the Templar zombies in certain locations. Now I feel like these are special zombies. I feel like the eyes are just blue for the electric zombies just because of the electric. I feel like this is irrelevant. I feel like these aren't important. It doesn't really matter what the eye color is here. But as he said, it doesn't matter what the eye color is overall because it doesn't really matter, because once they enter the MPD, they are inherently evil. Now in terms of the red eye color, this is most likely Dr. Monty, but the thing is he obviously never enters the MPD, but I think he uses the ether as a form of communication. This is why he can talk to us on Revelations as well as on Gorod Krovi. He uses the ether as a form of communication, and because he has control over the ether, this is why the eye color turns red, I believe. And I think he is the one who perpetuates Mob of the Dead, which I've already got a whole video on going up. But yeah, the Shadow Man is essentially inside the MPD, so he is on Moon essentially. Now as to why the eye color is yellow on Shadows of Evil and stuff like that, now as he said, whoever is in control of the zombies, it doesn't matter because they are inherently evil. Now I think the reason why the eye color is yellow pre-Samantha being in control, now this is a different idea that I have, is because on Shadows of Evil, the eye color is yellow, and this takes place on April the 25th, 1944. Now the Shadow Man and the Apothecans gain access to Dimension 63 during the Easter egg when he tricks our characters to help him. So you would have thought that it would be representing the color of eyes for the Shadow Man. Well, what if because Samantha was the first one to enter the MPD, when she entered the MPD, would the Shadow Man then escape from the MPD and he went back to Shadows of Evil in 1944? Samantha entered the MPD in 1955, so he essentially just went back a year, and then he went to Shadows of Evil, but it was too weak, so he had to trick our characters to help him. He tricked them into creating crimes and killing people, so then he could then shift Morgue City from reality, and then he tricked them to help them to unleash the Apothecan overlords, but then obviously the Keepers helped our characters. Then Richtofen came in and stole the summoning key from them. So what if the reason why the eye color is yellow for Samantha is it's essentially the eye color of the Shadow Man? That's just the standard eye color of the corruption. That could very well be the case, and because she was the first one there, that sort of overpowered her. Now we have seen other colors show up as well. For some weird reason on Revelations within the trailer we saw yellow-eyed zombies, and within the trailer for Mob of the Dead we also saw yellow-eyed zombies. I have no idea what that is about. I'm not sure if that was just a mistake in the trailer. That could have been the case. That makes no sense. I'm not sure if Trek were just trying to mess with us there. Now obviously when Maxis gains control at the end of the buried Easter egg, the eyes are instead orange. There's nothing that goes against that. Now as he was saying, the Keepers are the ones who created the MPD, aka the Ether Pyramid, a device capable of absolute power. It allows you to take control of the ether essentially, but a schism forms between them and those Keepers untainted by the dark ether. So we've got the corrupt Keepers and we've got the normal ones. So we've got the Apothecans, we've got the Keepers essentially. But yeah, hopefully this explanation has sort of made sense. Basically all you need to know is the eye color really doesn't matter, to be honest, because they're just inherently evil anyways. It's kind of the same person in control apart from Dr. Monty. I think Dr. Monty is the exception. He has a greater power. Now obviously because when Richtofen touched the MPD, you started hearing the voices of the Shadow Man, I'll just let you hear this quote from Revelations. They were sort of apprentices.
You do know that Richthofen is a friend of mine. I say friend, but really he's so much more than that. At one point, I almost considered him my apprentice. I mean, he did stab my reporter friend and steal the summoning key. But at one point, he did everything I told him to. I keep hoping he'll remember the promise he made to me so long ago.
But yeah, hopefully you have gone on to enjoy this video. If you have, make sure to smash the like button down below. But anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not here for the latest and greatest Black Ops 3 Zombies news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.